Hello, Ronnie Figueroa here again with another very unprofessionally made, unprepared for video that has to do with things that I believe very strongly will and can help people enhance their healing, enhance their lives, create more congruency, a better way of living, seeing the connection, and hopefully living in the connection of the mind, body, and soul. Because I think too many of us don't get that whole aspect that we're more than just mind and body. You can disagree with me, and there's principles that are involved with what I'm going to share and have been sharing that can work and do work with anyone, whether you believe in an alternate reality or if you believe in a connected consciousness, an energy that flows through all of us that has some kind of an intelligence. And when I say the word intelligence, I don't mean in any way that we can comprehend. But anyway, the reason why I want to speak today is I really want to promote the whole aspect of being careful about what you internalize as far as New Age philosophies. I'll use that word. Many of us understand what that is. And if you don't, just check it out. What it is, I think it's one of the most dangerous, most difficult religions that has ever been created. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think it started about like in the 60s or so, where the gurus started coming over more and more, and they started to promote a lot of Eastern philosophy. It happened earlier, we're starting to, but it really got more powerful probably like in the early 60s and then continued on. To where today, it's like people are so wrapped up in what they've learned through conditioning. And that's what we need as human beings too much, is this whole aspect of being conditioned by things that we hear and see. And a lot of times it's so subtle that we just don't even realize it. It has happened with religions that men came up with, because men wrote these ancient texts, whether it's Eastern philosophies, whether it's Western philosophies, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's Hinduism, whether it's Zen Buddhism, whatever it is, it was written by men. And we have a tendency throughout history to screw a lot of things up. I have to be honest about that. I believe totally. My belief system, right? My belief is that it would have been a much better place if women had more control, from the beginning. But our testosterone took over and made us do, and still makes us do things that are very, very unhealing and unhelpful for the world. So that's just a part of what I'm presenting. Ronnie Figueroa here. I am 65 years old, and I believe I am a pretty good demonstration of what can happen in an individual's life when he or she lives this way. The way is being in a place of what I call spacious awareness. You can call it whatever you want. Basically what it is, it's living a life of trusting something that is already innately within you. The voice that is within you, outside of all of the confusion of what you've been told to learn. There's this innate voice that gives you these answers that are outside of dogmas, outside of religions. This religion is right, that religion is wrong. If you're saying that, you're all wrong. There isn't any one religion that's right and nothing that's wrong. I have a dogma. I have my own belief system. It's basically a religion. New Age philosophy, Eastern philosophy, Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever they want to tell you, it is still a religion. And if you examine the definition of religion in different kinds of ways, you'll see it is a religion. The New Age religion is one to really, really be cautious about, because it came in with a lot of genuineness, wanting to see peace and truth and all that sort of thing. But it also came in with doctrine. And it's the most subtle kind of thing. And you'll hear this over and over again in this religion. And they'll fight tooth and nail and say, no, 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 we're not a religion. We tell people to just follow their heart and do whatever they want to do. It's within you. And they'll say these things, which parts are true. There's some wonderful things that have come out with all religions. In the New Age, it's probably closer to giving more what I would consider to be universal truths. But the problem is that they still have their strict dogma that says, and this is how subtle it is, oh yes, follow your heart, they'll say, and this and that. And remember, though, that when you can manifest, which is true, we can, but they'll say it like this, too many of them will say it like this. A vast majority have this concept. Universally, they will tell you that if you want to manifest good things in your life, and if you want to be healed, and if you want to be successful, etc., you've got to place outside of yourself, within your thinking, you have to believe that it's already occurring. You have to see it in its essence. You can even write it down. You need to proclaim it to all the people in the world that, this is already done within you. It is a done deal. It's not, don't look at it in the sense of, intention. I hope this happens. I want this to happen. Even though hope isn't, the word hope is written that way. And even if you if you examine various kinds of philosophical, spiritual literature, you'll see that concept of not having all the answers or believing that everything is going on, but having hope. Trusting that something good will come out of this all. I'm looking away every now and then because I'm expecting someone to come in. I'm trying to get this done before they do. And if they do, I'm going to have to stop, but I'll probably just put it on YouTube anyway. So what I'm trying to get to is this. We all need to understand, or I may cut this off and start it again, but we all need to understand that spirituality is not telling you what you should do. And the New Age philosophy, in a more subtle way, does say this. It'll say it like this. It's you, but you need to be able to manifest by believing that it's already occurred. And you need to avoid certain words, like don't say, I hope it happens, or it should happen, or I'm intending it to happen. You have to create it within the quantum field within you already. That's what you need to do. And that makes it universal. And then they'll suddenly go back. But you need to also just find the answers for within you in your heart. Now, to me, it would be much more advantageous. It would be much more genuine. It would be much more needed if these people would say things like, yeah, this is my belief, my philosophy, and really emphasize that they could be wrong. That's what I do. I'm telling you what I believe in my dogma, in my religion. I will say it in a bit. But what I believe is that it is important to have a belief within yourself, but to tell people, don't use words like should, and that there's this thing that goes around now that they say in this real subtle like kind of way in their little groups. Oh yes, hi there everybody. Now remember, don't say should, because if you say should, that's like shitting on yourself. Ha 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 ha. So they get away with saying that word shit without really saying shit. So for me, it's like this though. If I want to say should, I'm going to say should. I know of me that there's hope with that. There's something positive with it, and it's genuine. It's where I really am, and that's what's really important. There was a study that was done, and it showed the difference between people who get that attitude, oh, it's already done, it's already happened, I'm going to believe this, I do believe it, yes, it's done, and now it's going to manifest, as opposed to those who just don't say much of anything about it and have more of an attitude of, okay, we're going to work toward this. They've shown that the people who work toward it without this manifesting kind of, you live it in the now, all that kind of stuff, the way it is, accept it the way it is, everything's going to, is already happened. The ones who don't do that succeed much better than those who do. And one of the rationales of it is basically they were looking at it like this in this particular study, that the ones who really got into, oh, it's already happened, they become lazy almost. And it's almost like, well, I don't really have to work at it as much that becomes almost a psychological thing in the brain. The brain is wired that way. So you'll find yourself maybe not needing to work at it that hard, or having that energy or that need. Right? Now we're going to get into my stuff. I don't believe it should be all work. I got to make this happen, Or it's got to be, yeah, I believe it's happened already. It's happened. I had to work toward it, but I believe it's happened. These are extremes. And the basic extreme that is prominent in the New Age kinds of philosophy is on one side, believe it all, work toward it, believe it's going to happen. And the other one is like, just be in the moment. Just be in the moment. Create it, or just be in the moment and it will happen and you'll think better, you'll think clearer, and you'll be able to make it happen. Or you got to really work toward it, but you've got to have this positive energy and you've got to put it out there and you've got to believe it's already happened. And those are such extremes. The balance, and here's where my stuff comes in. The balance is learning how to do both. And it's very simple. It's very simple. This is how simple my principle is. And I say simplicity because I'll use that word because I think there's too many books, too many seminars, too many groups, too many this, too many that kind of tell you like, oh yeah, do this and everything's going to change your life. And a lot of these things are helpful. They do work to a certain degree to help people change their lives, to help people transform. But they only go so far. And this New Age kind of philosophy that's out there has us in a trap. And the universe, I believe, wants us to expand out of that trap, to continue to transform. And that's the key part of it. It's almost like once you get to that place, then you got to work to the next place, the next area, the next step. And the way you do that is by doing this. Practicing. Now, here's the mental part that's needed. And trying not to question, oh, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? But practicing. Bringing yourself to a place where there's three basic things: awareness, presence, and a positive intention or hope. You can use that word. I'm going to use that word. Use whatever you want. You can even integrate it in words that you want, because words aren't the important thing. As a matter of fact, I've heard that of all the languages, major languages in the world, the United States has more words than any other. Words. You know, no wonder we got all that monkey chatter in our brains and everything like that. So anyway, the three things: awareness, presence, and positive, loving intention or hope. If you just keep bringing yourself back to that, whether you do it as an affirmation or what some might call a mantra, or if you're just thinking it over and over again, do it throughout the day. And you can do it at any time. You don't have to, and this is one of the things too, they're saying in meditation, you have to get into this state of, meditation means you're always quiet and everything's serene. Yes. Ooh, and it is pretty cool. And I can get into my state, even though I'm excited I'm speaking this way. It's easy to do that for me. But you can't do that while you're driving the car, or you're taking care of the 10 children or the 10 jobs, or you're dealing with this aspect or that thing, or your home, your family life, whatever it is, and especially, more importantly than anything else, the internal conflicts that we're going through. If we heal those, and that's the key part of this, bringing us to awareness, you're bringing yourself here, what's going to happen, and probably throughout all your life to some degree or another, but I believe that's part of the plan, is you're going to struggle with this. But the more you do this, the more you live this, the less struggle, the more peace, the more balance. Bringing yourself up. What's going to come up with it? All that other stuff that's in your unconscious that you've been conditioned by. No, but this is, wait a minute. Wait, I can't just, okay, I get it. I don't. You bring all of that up to your awareness. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. And being genuine with it. However you're feeling in any given moment, that's where presence comes in. But don't get wrapped up in it's all about presence. Or it's all about being aware and working at it. Or it's all about having this positive belief or intention, or just knowing that it is. That's not what it's all about. It's a balance that occurs as you practice this, bringing everything up, your good, bad, your ugly. Basically, it will be extinguished. Just that. That's it. Now, there's other things in there that you can work at and look toward to use tools. That other word again, tools. Everything that we're doing to bring ourselves to this place are tools. And why use all of these outside tools? This kind of course, this book, that. They're good reminders. They're good things to motivate you, but they should be fewer and far in between. The key thing that we all should be practicing is using what we already have. This body. We already have this, so why not use it? Bringing these things up, and then you'll be feeling things, and then you'll be thinking things. Oh, it's taking over. I'm thinking too much or whatever. Okay, just keep bringing it up. Now realize, are you aware? Because as soon as you catch yourself, right, and it'll happen so much easier as you start practicing this. As soon as you catch yourself, you can go, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. You keep doing it, keep thinking the way, don't try to erase it or anything. But if you have presence as the primary thing, source that you're operating with, these other things become easier to manage, the thoughts, the feelings, and your thoughts become clearer, your direction becomes clearer, things start to work out better for you, and you will start to manifest in a very, very unique way. It was Carl Jung who coined the phrase acts of synchronicity. And the way that I use that, I call it acts of synchronicity / miracles. Because I believe if you live this way, what will continue to occur on an ongoing basis is almost these parallel-like acts of synchronicity. Exactly parallel? No. Will you get exactly what you've been wanting? Exactly what? No. But if you live this way and connect to this, the source of what we all are, what happens is, again, these acts of synchronicities occur. We also begin to speak more of the same universal language. The words won't even matter so much anymore. This is the stuff that will stop wars. This is the stuff that will stop conflicts, because we'll be in the same entity, in the same spaciousness, much more so. This is what we need more than anything else. Do we need to operate things and do things? Yes, but do it from here. Take risks. And that's the other thing. Once you get this and start getting it, you have to keep seeing how important it is and how we are a part of everything. When you're really here, you feel that and see that too. You begin to respect life more. You begin to want to make changes. You begin to make stands against things that you might have not done in the past. You take risks. Even if it feels like you're putting your head on the chopping block, you just go for it. And the more you live this way, the more you can't help but do it. And if you don't, if you don't take these risks and start stepping forward, there's going to be things that come in that are going to kick your ass and cause you to look a little bit more. But if you keep coming here, you'll get it. Other people will come in your life as acts of synchronicity. If you read something or you practice a tool, it'll bring more enlightenment because you're not relying on the tool. Or, oh my God, I got to get this done, or this has to happen. You're relying more, okay, show me. And then the questions you do ask yourself will be more reliable. You'll find things happening and you'll find yourself accelerating instead of just going up and down and up and down and up and down. And it should happen in a relatively short period of time. And if it isn't, you have to figure out the nuances of what you're not doing to cause you just to live and stay in this simplicity with all that you are, your good, bad, and ugly. And trust me, it will extinguish itself the more you take this risk and let those really, really deep things start to come up. Am I saying do it all in one shot? No. For most of us, we'll need to do it in increments because some of us have been too traumatized, too conditioned. And one of the things that unconscious voice will do, because it would rather see us die than truly, truly excel, it'll convince us to stop. Oh, and you know how this is. You start something for a while, and then all of a sudden, I just didn't do it. Why? All the kids, this, I have a bunch of various reasons. There is no reason, don't care how many kids you have, no matter what. People have said things to me like, but I don't have any time to do any of this. It's just impossible. And I say, you have to have a minute or two. And if you did that every day, I don't even know if I have a minute any day. And then I say, well, when there's nobody right there in my face. And I said, okay, how about when you go sit on the toilet? If you can do that for a minute, I mean, just about everybody has to sit on the toilet or urinate or defecate or something, right? And most of us are not going to do that in public. Maybe there's some tribes around that have to, or some cultures that have to because of their circumstances of poverty. But for the most part, we can do that. And those people in those cultures anyway can have that additional time. And if they weren't conditioned by the government, the powers that be, they'd be better off too. So there's a responsibility. This is the part I'm going to probably end with. There is a responsibility that we all have. We can blame the government. We can blame our parents. We can blame everybody. but it's up to us individually to change. Now, within that, there also, I have to be real in my belief system. I believe there are catalysts out there that can control us so much more, so that the majority of us are going to fall back, and a lot of it is not, quote, our fault per se, but it's them, and we have to fight to break through all of that bullshit. Now, are there major responsibilities? Yes. Those who are teachers, those who are healers, those who are in government or in that kind of authority, or business owners, or people who have the authority in this country, in this world, we, the teachers, those who are government leaders, we are first and foremost, primarily, more responsible than anyone else. So we need to be able to help that much more so. But is everybody responsible? Yes, we're responsible for each other. Because the way that the world is not because of just the leaders or just you, it's because of all of us. So we all have to see that, and all have to continue to be as one, and working toward or fighting toward a common good. Not in protesting out of anger and, oh yeah, and then fighting or whatever. No, the fight needs to be in a stance, nonviolent, peaceful marches, even though they may have been incensed, even though they may have been argumentative about terrible things, because there's terrible things in this world. And I'm certainly not going to say, or live a life of saying, oh, I see, yeah, you have this problem. That's why you raped all these people. I empathize with you, which you can, but I also say, I think you should be put away until that's dealt with, or maybe something else, you need to, have some kind of really deep consequence for what you're doing. So see, and the part of it too is if you live the simplicity of bringing yourself here, you'll find yourself saying things better. You'll find yourself comprehending things better, and in communicating with all those that you might think are idiots, you'll also, and not that I'm saying everybody's an idiot. Is everybody insane? Yeah, I believe so. We all are. I think we all are to some degree, and will remain that way. So we have to do the best we can while we're here on this earth, step at a time. And there's a principle to it, maybe the yin-yang kind of concept, that will be this way forever. There's nobody who's going to be 100% what I call the balanced human being. Most of us are going to have, I'll use it like this way, left side of the brain usually has more control, and the creative side or the spiritual side is here. We need to learn to bring that back in balance more and more. So please avoid the new age concepts that tell you shouldn't say should or don't say but. Me, I'm going to say should. I'm going to should wherever I want. It's my should. I should be able to should anywhere. And I think you need to should, because if you don't, you're going to explode and you're going to should all over the place anyway. So why not just get it all out now and heal, instead of doing something that is not truly you? Find it within your own self. Goodbye.